8 months after a viral video, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, and months of arguments about accommodations, Detroit rapper Dank DeMoss is officially settled with Lyft. And the way the story ends just has a bad taste, because the driver has been fired, and Dank is now rolling around in her own van with a chauffeur. This is hands down one of the most American stories I have ever covered in my entire life because, hey, we are combining morbid obesity with lawsuits. Does it get more American than that? Because this story literally went from, ma'am, you can't fit in my car, to a full-blown discrimination lawsuit. And if you've been around on this channel since February, you'll remember how all this started, because this is Deja Blanding, but she's more known as the Detroit rapper by name Dank DeMoss. And earlier this year, she requested a Lyft to go to a Detroit Lions watch party, but when the driver arrived, the driver quickly realized that he thought she wouldn't fit in his car. He sized her up and he was like, yeah, this thing is not gonna fit in my 2007 Toyota Corolla that's clearly, I don't know, just by how it sounds, it's probably run on like 200,000 miles.
You say this thing?
Did I say this thing to her?
This thing.
No, hold up. Did I say like this thing as in her, or this thing as in like getting into the car? Like I think I referred to the car, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I hope so.
Hold up. This lady is not going to fit into the thing, which is the car. That's where I'm going with this, okay? Yeah, that's what we're trying to say. But before you guys say, hey, this is fat phobia, here's what actually happened. So obviously, she pulled out her phone, she started filming, and she started saying, hey, I could fit in this car. And the driver calmly replied, believe me, you can't. He wasn't yelling, he wasn't insulting her, he was just calmly saying, hey, I don't think this is gonna work in my car, and my car is old, and it's running on its last legs, and this might put it over. This might put the car in the grave. But he went on the whole spiel of how his car was too small, that it had a tired tire, and to be honest, you can hear it in the audio, like that car didn't sound like it could handle a 500-pound person on one of the wheels in the back. He then suggested that she got an Uber XL. And then obviously to top it off, he said that he would not charge her for canceling the ride, that he himself would cancel the ride. And just to give a little bit of context, because I feel like this is kind of important. So a typical sedan can handle about 1,000 pounds total, which includes all passengers and cargo. A single seat can usually take about 250 pounds safely. So when you're dealing with someone who weighs around 500 pounds, and that's weight concentrated on one side of the car, the driver's concern isn't random. It's basically just physics. But this is an interesting predicament. Like, Deja obviously is human, and I can see how this is upsetting for her. And I feel like the situation has some similarities to, you know, the Six Flags rides, like the roller coaster rides, and also plane seats, where there's now a recent debate where if a person does not fit within the plane seat, that they have to buy a second seat. Obviously, the situation is a little bit different because you also have the Uber XL option and all that like that. And then also, like, Lyft isn't really a massive airline conglomerate. It's more or less like a platform. So each driver, they're not employees for Lyft. They're just contractors working for Lyft. So at least one would think that a Lyft driver isn't a spokesperson for Lyft. Apparently, the lawsuit thinks otherwise. And I am worried that this situation did cost this driver's job when he was just trying to look out for himself and his car. But obviously, Deja felt humiliated. She filmed the whole thing and posted online. Then she filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Lyft, accusing them of weight discrimination, which is pretty much the pinnacle of Karen moves here. But her attorney, Zach Runyon, gave this statement: refusing someone transportation based on their weight is not only illegal, but dangerous. Imagine the consequences if Miss Blanding was unable to seek shelter after the driver left her stranded. This could have ended even worse than it did. Worse than missing a Detroit Lions watch party? But obviously, that statement set the tone for the entire case. And look, I'm not saying that being left on the side of the road is not scary, but this wasn't some like emergency. This was a Detroit Lions watch party. And obviously, if this was an emergency, it's not like an ambulance wouldn't be there to handle it. Like, Lyft drivers aren't a substitute for EMS. Now, obviously, everything I'm saying here is 100% my opinion. I'm just giving some commentary on things that unfolded here on the internet. But when that clip went viral, reactions were just all over the place. Because one side sided with the driver and said, you can't expect the driver to just put his car at risk when she could have easily ordered an XL. And the other side said this was body shaming. And honestly, I don't think this was personal at all. I think it was just geometry. Like, it was kind of like the whole, you know, the kids' toy things where you put shapes inside of holes, and if the shape doesn't fit, you have to find a different spot to put the shape. Is this not kind of similar? And if that wasn't enough, Deja did interviews like The Breakfast Club. And when she went to sit down, she realized, oh, I can't sit on a normal chair here. So they literally had to bring in a sofa just so she could sit down.
What you want? What you need?
There's one more.
A bigger chair or something?
You're already little.
You had
That's what I'm talking about. Good. This is accommodation.
there you go.
And when they finally dragged the sofa in, she wasn't like apologetic or anything. She was like, yeah, talk about accommodations. Like she was making a big thing that like they had to do this for her. Like, come on, are you kidding me? That does not help her point whatsoever. And obviously while they were accommodating her, she wasn't like quiet and a little bit apologetic. She was more like kind of rubbing in their face. So she was like, yeah, accommodations, we really need this. Like, come on. But like logically also, what is this Lyft driver supposed to do? I guess like a lot of people say he just should have sucked it up, let her squeeze into the car, and if anything happened to the car, I mean, that would just be for him to pay. Or, because realistically, that's what would have happened. It's not like he could be like, hold on, wait a second, let me come back in a Sprinter. Or she could have just like ordered a bigger car like an Uber XL or a Lyft XL like he suggested. And obviously somewhere within all this, she started to lean into the moment. Like she was on interviews, she was gaining followers, she was making weight discrimination statements, and let's be honest, she was really milking those 15 minutes.
People think that bigger people, obese, the F word people should just be in a house when it's like,
The
we
F
not.
word?
Yeah, the F word. I'm not
You
about
heard
to-
that you can't say in your house,
Yeah.
fat. You don't like it.
Oh.
I'm not saying that word.
Yeah, we
Oh, I
don't,
didn't know
we don't use that word in my house
okay.
either.
I thought you were talking about the slur. I'm like, wait, I'm confused.
No.
No.
Right, come on, fat is not a bad word. Like, the F word, you can't be calling fat the F word. Everyone's thinking of a different word then. And also, just one look at her TikTok, and I found that she doesn't actually think that fat is a slur.
Yeah, fat with a P. What it look like from the back, I won't see.
The whole thing seems like it's less about her being silenced and more about her being put in a slightly inconvenient situation. Because the lawsuit cited Elliot Larson's Civil Rights Act, claiming that the defendant, Lyft, through its agents, representatives, and employees, unlawfully discriminated against the plaintiff based on her weight, treated her differently from similarly situated individuals based on weight, and allowed plaintiff to be subjected to unlawful harassment based on her weight. So I guess all of this was unlawful harassment. But it didn't stop there, because the suit also argued that this caused her emotional and mental harm. Meanwhile, Lyft made their statement. Lyft unequivocally condemns all forms of discrimination. We believe in a community where everyone is treated with equal respect and mutual kindness. Our community guidelines in terms of service explicitly prohibit harassment or discrimination. AKA, yeah, we're not touching that with a 10-foot pole. So fast forward 8 months later, court records confirm the case has officially been settled. Her attorney said the matter was resolved but wouldn't comment on the specifics. No public number was released, no official terms, but Daily Mail and Fox 2 both confirmed the lawsuit ended quietly earlier this summer. And here's where the plot twists. The driver, Abraham, got fired from this. And Dank Damas, she bought a brand new van and now she has a chauffeur. Is this justice? I don't know. Because what started as, I just want to go to this watch party, turned into a national news cycle, a discrimination lawsuit, and apparently a personal driver for one lady. So yeah, no court ruling, just a quiet settlement, a fired driver, and a rapper, now with a van and a chauffeur. But also notice how she didn't buy a small sedan with high mileage to be chauffeured around in. She bought a big van. But either way, who knows? Maybe she'll be back to making music videos again.
We fight it, but that don't mean we hate each other.
Yeah. But this case is just so interesting because it's like right on the line of, you know, defending discrimination, but also being reasonable. Like, what's going on here, guys? Now, obviously, weight is a protected class in Michigan, but that doesn't magically change that each seat, especially in a small sedan, can carry a maximum of up to 250 pounds safely. So I don't know what's gonna happen now in the future. Because at the end of the day, the driver, from what it seems like, sure, he could have handled it better. Because the big mistake the driver did was say the reason why he decided to decline her. He could have just declined her and said, hey, I'm too tired, I can't drive right now. But at the end of the day, it seems like he tried to make a practical call and she turned it into a legal call. And now it seems like she's walking away with a settlement check while the driver is out of a job. So in theory, could any person that's Deja's size sue any car manufacturer for not making seats that can safely carry them? Is that a thing? Could that be a thing in the future? I don't know, but it's crazy how this could have easily ended with just, you know, her ordering an Uber XL or a Lyft XL. But instead, it became seemingly a pretty decent payday for her. But as of right now, this is the end of the Dank Damas saga. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like on it, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. And thank you guys for bearing with my temporary setup, because we're traveling for content, boys, yet again. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'll actually have a better setup for then. Peace.